What's up everyone, it's Tim from TimPlaysAGame here with Pokemon TCG Live playing on PC. Tonight we're looking at one of the newest cards from the Destined Rivals format, Cynthia's Garchomp EX. Big Stage 2 Pokemon, 330 HP. Look at these attacks here. 1 and 2 energy, you're doing some game-breaking stuff here. 100 damage for 1 energy, you just and then you get draw 6 cards, until you have 6 cards in your hand, which is freaking amazing. And then for 2 fighting energy, Draconic Buster, you're doing 260, but you have to discard both those energies. Not too much of a problem, and it doesn't sound like a really big attack. 260 is nothing to scoff at, but it's not that great when you're going up against things like Dragapult EX or something like with more like a 320 HP range. But we have that covered thanks to some of the other Cynthia's Pokemon. We have Cynthia's Roserade. Cheer on to Glory. Attacks used by Cynthia's Pokemon do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance. That's important. We don't really use its attack. It's just more of a, it says, it's more of a cheerleader. Sitting on the bench, giving us 30 extra damage. And if we got 2 of those, that Corkscrew Dive goes from 100 to 160 damage for 1 fighting energy. And that Draconic Buster goes to a surprising 320 damage. So yeah, you're going to be knocking out some stuff with that. We have to get started though early on in the game. Budew is a great stall card to start with Itchy Pollen. We have the Gible here. It doesn't do much, but does 20 damage that is not affected by resistance. Cynthia's Gabite is probably one of the more powerful search engines, well, probably the main search engine for this deck. Once during your turn, search your deck for Cynthia's Pokemon, reveal it, put it in your hand. One thing I like to do is I like to get a couple Gible out. Evolve into Gabite, search for another Gabite, then use that Gabite's attack to search for another Cynthia's Pokemon. You don't really want to bring in the Garchomp EX until you're ready to attack. This way you can maximize the number of uses that you can use Champion's Call, which is a great little thing. This is the secret weapon of the Cynthia deck. This is kind of like one of those things I didn't realize until I started reading the cards. Cynthia's Spiritomb, 70 HP Pokemon. Not that great, but wait. Raging Curse, for 1 colorless energy, this attack does 10 damage for each damage counter on all of your bench Cynthia's Pokemon. Why is this important? If you think about the current metagame, we have a lot of Pokemon that are attacking the bench, that are going after, that are putting out a lot of damage. To give you an idea, Dragapult EX. I'm going to use that one a lot. That one's Phantom Dive does 200 damage, and it does 6 damage counters to the bench. That's about 260 damage. If you bring in Cynthia's Spiritomb, take all that damage and throw it right back at them, you're doing 260 damage, but wait. You got these 2 Roserades on the bench. That also powers up Cynthia's Spiritomb, making it do 320 there. Very good. For a little extra draw power, we have the Fezandipiti EX. Be careful with this, people, because this is mostly one prize deck minus the Garchomps. People do like to boss order this in, so probably use it closer to the end of, well, just be careful when using it. Yeah, it's not going to really attack, it's just we're going to be using it to flip the script. A lot of times these one prize Spiritombs will get knocked out. Sometimes they're going to go after the Roserade, so you want to probably be using Fezandipiti quite often in this deck. We have Buddy Poffin for them to get things going early on. We got Counter Catcher. You'll probably be using it at least once because this is kind of a slow start deck. Yeah, you gotta start with Gible. We do have a Rare Candy in here to speed things up, but you want to kind of slow. You want to go slowly. You want to go into the Gabites, build up your bench. The ideal bench is probably 2 Gabite, 2 Roserades, and then eventually evolve that into Garchomp, those Gabites, 1 Spiritomb. And then just have 1 spot open in case you're going to do the Budew to stall or the Fezandipiti to drop more cards. And let's see, we have Earthen Vessel. We have 3 of these, right? We got to get these fighting energies out. Now we're only using 1 to attack with, mainly with that Garchomp, and 1 to attack with on that one. But sometimes you're going to want to throw down 2 to get that Draconic Buster going. And we got the Night Stretcher. Night Stretcher is very important to pull back cards because, again, some of these are 1 prizers. We only have 2 Roserade in the deck, and if we lose 1, it kind of hurts hits the power. The power goes down a little bit on Garchomp's attacks. We have Pokégear 3.0. Great way to get out some of these supporters, mainly Arven and Iono. Got the 1 Rare Candy just to bring that Gible up to Garchomp. Probably if you can do that early, if you can do that the second turn, that'd be great. We have the Arven in here to get that out, so it should be pretty easy to do that. We have 2 Ultra Ball in here. The Ultra Ball probably won't be used too often because again we have Champion's Call, but we probably use the Ultra Ball to in tandem with the Rare Candy to get out the Garchomp. Probably on turn 2. Our ace spec in the deck is Unfair Stamp, great card. If you can only use this card if any of your Pokemon are knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Shuffle your hand into the deck, each player, and then you draw 5, your opponent draws 2. There's a number of things you can do. As far as ace spec goes, some people use Maximum Belt to power up the Garchomp attack. I think Unfair Stamp works well because, again, it's one of those slow build decks, kind of like Dragapult, kind of like Charizard, kind of like Gardevoir, where you have to build up to that stage too. So Unfair Stamp helps if your opponent tries to outspeed you. It's a nice little Plan B card. We have Pokemon League Headquarters and the new Team Rocket's Watchtower as our stadiums. This one is, these are kind of situational. This one is for mainly the big basic decks, the Pokemon League Headquarters. You want to use it against the Raging Bolt EXs. You want to use it. There's a new Mewtwo that's I'm considering a big basic. The Team Rocket's Mewtwo. This will slow that down. This also works well against Budew, where it's, again, I'm leery about using this card because it does affect the Cynthia's Spiritomb. That's kind of the only other Pokemon we're going to attack with. Yeah, these two, Garchomp and Spiritomb. So if you do plan on using Spiritomb, try to avoid using the headquarters if necessary. The Team Rocket's Watchtower is great because we have a lot of colorless Pokemon in the game, like the Fan Rotoms, the Noctowls, just to name a few. I've gone into detail about this card, and it's nice to have those abilities get canceled. You can play that early, you can really mess up your opponent's strategy. Arven is probably one of the best supporters for this deck because we have the new Cynthia's Power Weight, we have Rescue Board TM Evolution to help move things along. And also it helps us get our items like our Rare Candy, Ultra Ball, Unfair Stamp, maybe even a Buddy Poffin. One of my favorite strategies is to get the Buddy Poffin and the TM Evolution, and then just have my Pokemon evolve on that on my first turn going second. Let's see, we've got 2 boss orders. That's probably all we're gonna need in tandem with the counter catcher. I like to have at least 3 bench, 3 Gus. I guess gusting options. So that should cover 3 of them. That you can actually target some pretty big EXs with this deck. So yeah, I think did we talk about the Spiritomb? Sorry, I want to go back to this because yeah, there's a lot of things you can do here. This Garchomp EX has no retreat cost. It can take a lot of damage. You can retreat it, and then you can attack with the Spiritomb. You can throw a lot of that damage back on them. So I just want to throw that option out there. That's one of my favorite strategies for this deck. Sorry, I'm talking fast. Iono is back to the supporters. The Iono, probably the best draw engine for this deck because you keep shuffling your cards back in. You keep drawing 4 more, or you just keep drawing until you have 6, or drawing until basically you're ready to go. Also late game, it helps out too if your opponent's down to a couple prizes. We got Cynthia's Power Weight, probably the best tool for this deck. Gets 70 HP, but it's only for Cynthia's Pokemon. So Garchomp EX becomes a 400 HP Pokemon. Spiritomb becomes 140. Really, you can use them on the Roserade too, but that's if you're worried about them. But it only boosts them up to 200. So yeah, 200. Anything 200 is going to kind of get knocked out. So I would reserve them for the Garchomp EX. You can put them on the Gible eventually. It'll evolve to Garchomp EX, but you can also do it on Spiritomb too if you want, but it's not doing a lot, boosting it from 70 to 140. Yeah, if it got out of the 200 range, it'd be probably worth it, but it's a little bit harder to knock out though, so early game it can actually help out pretty well. We have Rescue Board here. If something like the Fezandipiti gets trapped in the active spot, you try to get that Spiritomb out of the active spot. If they gust in a Roserade, you want to get that back on the bench as soon as possible. Rescue Board is probably the best tool for that. Retreat cost is 1 less. If the remaining HP is 30 or less, it has no retreat cost. You don't want to use it on... I wouldn't recommend using it on Gible because once it evolves up to Garchomp, there's no retreat cost. And then, yeah, we have the TM Evolution. Like I said, Evolution allows you to choose up to 2 your bench Pokemon for each of those Pokemon. Search your deck for a card that evolves to that. Great to get out the Gabites. If you got the Gabites already, get out the Garchomp. If you got the... Actually, honestly, I'd worry about getting out the Gabites more than the Garchomp. And you also get out the Roserade if you already got the Gabites. But again, the Gabites can help you get out cards like the Roserade, help you get out more Gibles, help you get out Garchomp EX and Spiritombs, yeah. And then we have 7 Fighting Energies. That's all we really need. This deck is actually pretty it's not, I won't say basic, but it's pretty on the nose with what you need with what the strategy is here. You're building up Garchomp EX. You have the Spiritomb as a secondary attacker once the Garchomp EX starts taking damage. You got Roserade as attack support. You have Budew stall support and Fezandipiti for late game draw support. So let's get into the battles and see how this deck does. Let's go. So for the first one, we start out. I think we start out with the Gible. It's kind of a slow start with this deck. He is going first, so we are going second. It would be better if we got out the if we had like a Buddy Poffin. I think we can probably draw that out. I'm hoping to draw that with this top deck. Let's see what happens. He's got. I remember this guy. He had the Lycanroc deck that I've actually built before. I was a little worried about it going into this, but this deck does. That Lycanroc deck does take a time to build up, so I wasn't too upset that things were starting slow for me. So I didn't want to attack because that Cacnea has the ability to throw damage counters onto the Gible when it attacks. So we're gonna hold off on the attack for now. I'm really hoping to draw that Garchomp EX out. Or really anything, really. I just need some kind of supporter. That's one thing about this deck I didn't really like. That's why I put the Pokégear 3.0 in there, is to help with the draw, help get out the supporters a little bit faster. Mainly the Arven and the Ionos. And they brought in the Artisan. I think the Artisan actually helped me. A lot of people stopped using Artisan because it helps your opponent too much. I know that sounds weird because it helps you a lot, but they're playing it now after I have only one basic that I would have left it alone. I would have just tried not to use it unless they have another stadium that they can replace it with almost immediately. Yeah, so having that Artisan in there might have actually hurt them a little bit. Yeah, right now I'm actually using it to my advantage here. I can get that. In fact, what I can do is Earthen Vessel. Let's get rid of the Night Stretcher. Grab some Fighting Energies. That'll thin the deck out a little bit. Get one of those. We're gonna have to retreat him. We can actually evolve. This is actually kind of a brilliant move here. We can do this, get the Gabite on him, and then next turn, if this Gabite is still here, we can Rare Candy and evolve it into the Garchomp EX using Cynthia's Gabite's ability. You can search out that Garchomp EX, so... I think when I played this game, I might have missed that, though. I'm not sure. I was thinking about it, and I think I might have missed it. Okay, so he used de-evolution here. It didn't actually hurt me at all. So there's another Gabite. Yeah, so we do this, we get the Garchomp EX. That, and then we Rare Candy that into the Garchomp EX. We got that on turn 2, baby. Come on. Get the Artisan. We can get another Gabite. We could also get the... I think I should have gone for the Roselia here. Yeah, but I wanted to get this other... I have this other Gabite in my hand. I want to get it evolved pretty fast. So we did that. We got our hand drawn up to 6. We got one of the Roselias here, so... Yeah, honestly, this... I remember now the Lycanroc. I think the highest HP thing in this deck is the Lycanroc at 120 HP, so we didn't really need... Honestly, I didn't need to power up too much here. I didn't need to boost their attacks too much. A lot of these things can get knocked out pretty easily. The only thing I would worry about is the Monkey Dory, because the Monkey Dory does have a 30 damage resistance to fighting types, so... Yeah, I should have focused a little bit more on the Roselias, but I got plenty of stuff here to get that out now. Now this deck, once you get cooking with that first corkscrew attack from Garchomp, you can just go. It just goes. It just you keep replenishing your hand. They can't unfair stamp you. They can't. I mean, they can. It just doesn't work well. They got the Lucky Helmet on there. Lucky Helmet, I wouldn't have recommended this. I probably would have done Rocky Helmet for this deck. But I guess they went with Lucky Helmet to draw cards because this deck doesn't have a very good draw engine. So, I mean, it'll probably get them 2 cards tops. I got the Roselia down, and now I can actually, yeah, so he did drag this out. I think I can always rescue board this. Let's evolve it. It only has 1, so let's Arven here. Let's get out the Spiritomb just in case this thing does start cooking. Get some of that high damage on me, because the Lycanroc from the previous set can do a lot of damage. I was gonna do like a deck video on it, but it's not that great of a deck. It's good if it gets going, which can be the same same said about any other deck. I mean, you can dish out some seriously high damage, that Lycanroc. But so right now we're using Champion's Call. Let's get out the Garchomp EX. Once you start getting all your stuff out, yeah, we got the Roserade. We're not gonna need more than 1 Roserade, so let's start doing that. Rescue board. I couldn't evolve him because I just evolved him to Gabite, so that's why I did that. We're gonna Buddy Poffin, get the other Roselia out, and then I can use Champion's Call on that Gabite with that Gabite next turn. And I brought the fresh one here because I kind of want to hold on, stop putting on more damage, or just like get on a certain amount of damage. If your Pokemon if any of these Garchomps get to about 70 damage, the Lycanroc's attack will knock it out, so be careful of that. It's like, yeah, 40 plus 40 more for each damage counter, so that's like a crazy amount of damage. And that Spike Energy doesn't help. But we got that one knocked out. At this point, though, he's feeling it. He's got the Monkey Dory out. He's got 2 of the Monkey Dories. So we gotta go for knockouts. We gotta go for straight knockouts. We can't do chip damage at all. Yeah, he's got them out in full force. I think the best option would just keep going with Corkscrew, keep drawing more cards out. We got the Roselias out. The Roselias are coming out next turn. I'm so glad he didn't play Iono, or I would have been very upset here losing both those Roserades. I mean, I could have gotten them out again with the Gabite, but all right. So I don't like that Frostlass, especially if I'm bringing out these Roserades right now. Yeah, they're gonna take damage. I decide I'm gonna use that. Get out the last Garchomp. We're not gonna need another. We can always Buddy-Buddy Poffin that Spiritomb if needed. I did this. I did League Headquarters because I'm worried about other small attackers. I'm worried about Budews mainly. So there we took out the Frostlass. That was probably a smart idea. And yeah, he's done at that point because the Frostlass was his chip damager. Alright, good game. Mulligan on this first one. They saw the Cynthia's band there, so power weight, yeah, so it's not going well. Honestly, we actually got a pretty good hand with the Buddy Poffin and the TM Evolution, but we didn't get any energies, so... Oh, there it is. Okay, we got the energy. Lucky draw. Okay. Let's get the Roserade and the Gible. Honestly, I was thinking about doing 2 Gibles, but no, we got the other Gabite, so we can probably evolve him next turn. Yeah, I kicked myself here for doing that. I'm like, wait a minute, no, stop. I couldn't stop myself. It's not too bad. Because, honestly, the TM Evolution we can use, but the Gabite, we were going first turn. If we were going second turn, I probably would have used the TM Evolution. But we can always, what we can do is evolve this Gible into Gabite, evolve the other, use Gabite's ability to get another Gabite out, use that Gabite's ability to get the Roserade out, and just like that, it's like using TM Evolution. My whole thing, I was worried about the freaking Fan Rotom. That was kind of what was bothering me. If that Fan Rotom came out and started swinging, 70 damage, that thing could have been a nightmare. Because all my Pokemon are 70 HP. God, I love Cynthia's power weight, just giving 70 HP. That is unreasonable. You thought Bravery Charm was bad. I mean, freaking Luxurious Cape, it gives you 100 HP, but you gotta sacrifice another prize card if that thing gets knocked out. And here, he was lucky to get that one head, so he didn't have much luck there. Did 10 damage though, so every little bit helps. Alright, so there we do the strategy, evolve that, bring this out. Gabite him. Here's Gabite. The other one. Roserade. That, the only thing I regret here is that, I should have probably got the Rare Candy and then... Yeah, Rare Candy, and I should have used the Gabite's ability to get the Garchomp EX out. I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I was thinking more along the lines of get my bench set up. But honestly, I think it all worked out pretty well here. Get the other Gible. Oh, yeah, we went for the... I was thinking, like, I'm trying to think, like, I was kind of, like, worried about this. Like, do I really want the Budew there? Like, I might have to stall a little bit. And then I thought about it. It's like, let's get the other Roselia out. I think the other Roserade's in the prize cards. I should have gone for the other Gible instead of the Budew, but... And then it dawned on me, they got the Noctowl in their hand right now from the Rotom. They got 2 of them. So I decided, you know what, I'm only gonna do 10 damage. I'm only gonna do 40 damage, it's not a lot. Let's just bring out the Budew, do Itchy Pollen, and try to like stall him a little bit, try to like slow him down. And he got the Flareon out. Which I think that does 130 damage, so it wouldn't have knocked out the Gabite, but I was worried that... Well, honestly, I was worried about a lot of things here. My only fighting energy was in the discard pile right now, so I'd have to get another one. I kind of had to lean on this Budew for a while. He brings out the Flareon. Like, he could have used the Noctowl and grabbed other stuff, like supporters and tools and stadiums, but I know this Flareon build, they use a lot of item cards to help themselves out. So he went for the Burning Charge right there, trying to get that off. Trying to get that. I guess he's got like a Blaziken. Yeah, he's got the Blaziken EX in this deck. It's kind of a weird fire deck. Flareon Blaziken deck. All right, so we don't have the energy, but what we can do is we can keep Dragon Call. Thin things out here. Get the Gabite. I was gonna go for the I wasn't sure if I wanted to go for the Garchomp or the Gabite. Got the Spiritomb here. My first idea was, do I want to like let it take some damage and switch into Spiritomb if need be? Decided we're gonna throw these 2 tools away. We're gonna use Fezandipiti here. I don't like bringing Fezandipiti out, but I'm glad I did because this got me the energy I needed. I was so happy. Yeah, that Fezandipiti does come in pretty clutch, though, especially when you're running Budews. I decided to hold on to the Unfair Stamp. I should have grabbed a tool, but honestly, I was like, you know what, I'm going to be using Iono, so let's... Oh no, I was going to use Unfair Stamp, so... Did I want to do this? I'm like, I wanted to bring the Garchomp, and I'm like, I should have waited on it and gotten the Gabite or the Gible. Again, I was kind of impatient here. That's one thing that's one of my bad habits when I play this game, is I'm a little bit impatient. So right now he's doing pretty good. He's got that Flareon's got damage on it, but it's gonna need to retreat. Anything I can actually, I can knock out some pretty good stuff here. So I'm not too worried about it, especially with that Earthen Vessel. I can grab some more fighting energy. I think we're pretty much we're pretty solid here. And yeah, he retreats that, brings in Blaziken. Night Stretchers the fire energy back. Attaches the fire energy, goes for the attack with maximum belt, which does a nice little chunk of damage here. That's nice 250 there. There's the fighting energy. Decided, you know what, we're gonna put the fighting energy here. We got the 2 Roserades. This does a perfect 320. I didn't want to give him any cards, so I'm like, let's just go for it. Go for the knockout on the Blaziken. I was thinking about counter-catching out the Flareon, but Flareon's not much of a threat right now. This thing did perfect 320. That maximum, I got rid of the A-Spec, I got one of his pretty big attacker. I pulled 2 prize cards off that. And at this point, he doesn't have any more cards in his hand, so... yeah, he's pretty much done. Yeah, he gave up there. Good game, buddy. We're going first on this one. I got the Gabite, and the Gible and the Roselia. I did brick on the first, or I did mulligan on the first hand, so he got a free card. I was worried about, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go first, but honestly, sometimes if you got the Gabite in your hand, you're gonna want to go first. Decided to play the Rocket's Watchtower. It's like I saw the Budew, I saw the Dreepy. The only real item card I have in my hand is Night Stretcher, and then probably whatever I was gonna get with the whatever item I would have gotten with the Arven. So I figured I should be okay as long as I don't lose this Gible with the 1 energy on it. Well, honestly, if I did lose the energy, I could just Night Stretcher it back. If it got like Boss Order out. But no, they tried to build up. This is the Dragapult deck. They tried to build up stuff. I think he was a little unfamiliar with Dragapult because he was kind of doing some weird things here. Pokemon League headquarters, I was thinking about playing. Again, you gotta be careful with that. And use Cynthia's call. Yeah, Champion's Call is probably the best way to get things going once you set up. I'm still leery of whether this is a better going first or second. Because when you go first, you can get, if you have the Gabite in your hand, you can pretty much bring out what you need. I like the TM evolution method too. Right here, I'm using Arven. I don't know why in my head I thought, he's gonna knock something out. Because once I go in, it's like I couldn't play any items, so I'm like, let's... And I was worried that he would bring in another Budew to stall things out, so I'm like, let's take care of this now, let's kill this with fire. We got another TM evolution. I couldn't play the TM evolution because I already have another tool on it. Be careful of that. That's one mistake I've made, is that once you play that Cynthia's Power Weight, you can't really play any more tools until that one's gone. And there's no way to get rid of it, so yeah, you're just... yeah, you're kind of stuck there, so be careful of that. That's what I was worried about. I was worried about freaking Dracloak. Well, not Dracloak, just like Dragapult. I was worried about Rare Candy Dragapult. But that didn't happen. He had the Unfair Stamp. If he got the Rare Candy Dragapult, that would have knocked him out. I'm like, okay, well, I'd have the Unfair Stamp ready. That was my whole plan right there. But this worked out a little bit better because he can't knock anything out now. He can do 70 damage. That's all he can really do. And my next turn with Champion's Call, I can just bring in the Cynthia's Garchomp that does a straight 100 damage and draws me more cards. Counter Catcher, yeah, this was smart there, bring that in. But I did have the Arven, and I've not used Rescue Board yet, so that's something I put on I'll do pretty often, is use Rescue Board to bring it, like on Roselia, to bring it back after it's been bossed out. Rescue Board really helps, but only one. I was thinking about throwing a switch in here too, but that's an item card, and again, I've seen things get Budew locked, so. Then there are also Pokemon that retreat lock, so maybe a switch wouldn't be a bad idea for this deck. For the life of me, cannot figure out what to put in. So we got the Garchomp here. Let's get the other Champion's Call. And it was here I decided, he's gonna be damaging the bench, the Spiritomb might be the best option. Then I thought Roselia for more power up. Yeah, we can bring in because I have the League headquarters out right now, it would make it difficult, not impossible, just a little bit more difficult for the Spiritomb to attack. That's one of the little speed bumps with this deck. You gotta be careful when playing the League headquarters. I was more worried about Budew. Besides, I also play Budew here too, so you gotta be worried. You gotta be careful of that. But really, once you get going with the Garchomps, you don't really have a need for Budew. So right now, I'm just trying to do what I can to slow him down. You know, I need him to take as few prize cards as possible. There's the Dragapult. But the Dragapult isn't gonna, I mean, it will knock out the Roserade with those 6 damage counters, which is what I was thinking he was gonna do. Thankfully I had a Night Stretcher ready, so I can always bring back that Roserade. The problem is, if a Roserade gets knocked out, I only have 2 Night Stretchers in this deck, so the only other way to bring it back would be, I have to use basically both Night Stretchers. So when you lose one Roserade, it does kind of hurt the deck a little bit. I've seen some people do 3-3 line of Roserade, Cynthia's Roserade, but that actually can muddy things up a little bit. You really only need the 2 Roserades out. And yeah, if one of them gets stuck in the prize cards, it does hurt a little bit, so. Mostly you're going to be using the one fighting energy attack. Now here, this is one of the parts where I was thinking twice about League Headquarters. In all honesty, I think if there is one change I would make to this deck, it probably would be to go for 2 Team Rocket Watchtowers over the 1-in-1 Pokemon League Headquarters and Team Rocket Watchtower. Lose a League Headquarter for a Watchtower, but I do like the prospect of blocking off certain basic Pokemon. I decided let's play that for now. Let's play the Cynthia's Garchomp. Let's get a fighting energy on it. I can always attach another fighting energy if I needed to. Decided let's retreat this. Let's go in swinging with 100. Draw some cards. And the cool thing is, I didn't have the other Night Stretcher, so I didn't have the Night Stretcher at the time. Yeah, he kept using Iono very effectively. So yeah, this did hurt a lot. And also he has the Genesect with the Illustrious Cape. I was thinking about gunning for that, getting like 2 prizes, but later on in the game. That's kind of a huge gamble there. Like with that Genesect there, I can't use my A-Spec, which is my Unfair Stamp. And he did counter catcher this out, so that thing was going to get knocked away. And he spread things out pretty well there. Sent him out. I'm decided, you know what? We're going in on this. I had the boss order there. I'm like, you know what? Put this on him. Let's knock out that Dragapult. Let's get rid of that. It's Iono now. We're only gonna get 4 cards. I didn't need the TM Evolution anymore. I got Cynthia's Power Weight. That's good. I decided to put the other one on the Gible. Try to get another Garchomp going. And let's go 260 on this one. That would get the knockout. 3, yeah, dude, just a little bit more than enough damage. But I lose those 2 fighting energies, but I do knock out the freaking Dragapult, which was very satisfactory. Very satisfying. And the thing about these Dracloaks is they can search out the Dragapults and then evolve into the Dragapult, which is a little infuriating. I mean, Dragapult is top tier right now, so I'm glad they did make it a League Battle deck, give people the option to use it. I do like that people are experimenting more with Dragapult. They can combine it with stuff. I've been seeing people combine Dragapult with Ethan's Typhlosion, which is something I'm going to try to do here in a little bit. I was going to do an Ethan's Typhlosion deck, but I wanted to combine it with something because it's standalone. It's a pretty good one-prizer deck, but it can be combined with other stuff. I've seen some people try using it with Charizard EX. I think the best combination is Dragapult EX and Ethan's Typhlosion. I've seen also some people do Goldungo and Ethan's Typhlosion. Goldungo EX, yeah. But yeah, at this point, he knew exactly what I was going to try to do. I believe he went for the went Fam Dive. Yeah, he's gonna try and go for the. Yeah, he's gonna go for the Spiritomb because he knows what to expect. Down 2 prizes apiece. And I can Night Stretcher the Roserade back. Yeah, the Roserade. I don't know why I decided to go for the Gabite there, because I can't use Counter Catcher. I can't bring out much here. Champion's Call. I'm trying to get the Roserade or the Spiritomb. My goal here was try to, like, he only needs 2 more prizes, so I need to protect this Garchomp. So I decided, you know what? Let's... I think the Fezandipiti was in the prize cards. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about what I want to do here. Let's pull this out. Let's evolve this, just so he can't get the knockout with the... that. This way they're safe. I can retreat. Put that on him, so they're all buffed up now. Yeah, I was gonna retreat the Earthen Vessel, yeah. And I was like, you know what? I got the counter catcher. If he knocks this out, I'll be good. Like, I'm trying to think how many prize cards. I should be able to knock this out. My whole goal here was to go for that Fezandipiti, but I need to lose 1 more prize card here. And I don't know what it is lately, but every battle I've been in, they pull boss order out at the most convenient times. I guess with Recon Directive it's a little bit easier because you can just shuffle it back into the deck if you don't need it, but he boss ordered at the absolute perfect time there. So yeah, that was one of the more fierce battles I fought. I did get the knockout, so it was an unfortunate loss, but pretty close battle though. If he didn't have that boss order, it could have gone either way. Actually, I would have had it. This last battle went pretty quickly, actually. I decided to include it in here because the video was running. I wanted the video to run a little longer. But we got the Budew here. Yeah, it was an Iron Thorns EX deck, so. Which, honestly, the only thing that Iron Thorns would stop is the Fezandipiti EX. Everything else would run smoothly. The Garchomp EX doesn't have an ability, so... And it's a fighting type, so... If I can get the one Roselia out... yeah, if I get the one Roselia out, I'm set. My whole goal here was like, you know what? I got the Arven, I got the Garchomp in my hand, I can Rare Candy next turn. He's not going to be able to attack me no matter what he does. I can Budew him, I can lock him in... free retreat, but you know what? He just decided to retreat for me with Pokemon Catcher. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, he doesn't know I have the Earthen Vessel. And as far as a Quad Thorns deck goes, he ran this pretty well. You got Team Rocket's Watchtower. I discard my Team Rocket's Watchtower, so... I'm like, well, okay, I guess I'm gonna play mine now. Yeah, Quad Thorns is making a bit of a comeback now, especially with the new Crustle. It does add a... extra layer of what the heck. Okay, so we got the Rare Candy, we got the Power Weight. I was thinking about it. Yeah, I'm like, Power Weight's good. Don't need it just yet. Vessel. Discard that, discard. I was thinking about discarding the Power Weight. I'm like, you know what? No, let's hold on to it because I'm probably going to draw some cards here with Corkscrew, Dive. Draw 3 more cards. There's a Gible and a Roserade, or a Roselia, so... At this point, we're really cooking here. Once I get that Roserade, I'm just thinking in the back of my head, once I get this Roserade out, I'm knocking these things out easily, taking 2 prizes, one every turn from 1 energy, and drawing cards until I have 6 cards in the hand. I'm just gonna be... I'm good. I am... Yeah, because this Cynthia's build actually messes up the Iron Thorns pretty well. I think it'll also do a number on Joltik Box, too. Joltik Box can't have a similar problem. I think the Pikachu EX might be the biggest problem, but Garchomp EX can pretty much tank it. Can actually tank one of the Pikachu's attacks. Alright, we're building up the other one right now. He did de-evolution me. That hurt pretty well. But I still have just enough to get the knockout right there. That actually felt pretty good. A little Gible taking down a giant Iron Thorns. I was thinking about using the Iono, but I'm like, you know what? He might knock out. Yeah, he at 70. It's got 140, and that Iron Thorns EX can actually do enough damage. So I'm like, you know what? Let's hold on to this Unfair Stamp for now. I didn't want to give him any cards with that Iono, so. And then he Iono'd for me, so. It's kind of nice when they make the decisions for you, but they did give me a Gabite, so that Yeah, you just gave a mouse a cookie, my friend. That knocked that out. That's okay. Yeah, so I got another one coming in, a fresh one. There's the Gible. There's that. Can't play the Fezandipiti EX would be great right now, but again, Iron Thorns EX stops that in its tracks. I did pull the Roselia out, the Roserade out, so that 40 attack now does 140. I don't know why I played the Fez. Don't know why I played the Fez there. Like, you should just shuffled it back in. Cause that thing could get bossed out easily. I was thinking about, like, I can't play that. I can't do that. It's already got a tool on it. Yeah, I was getting kind of tired here at the end of the day playing this 4th match. And you can see the game starting to kind of break down to in the bottom right corner. You can see one of the cards is stuck over the discards. But I wasn't too upset. Yeah, there's not much he could have done at that point. He did have 6 cards in his hand, but I guess he just didn't have anything to really take down the Garchomp EX. And that is going to wrap things up for this video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to TimPlaysAGame, and stay tuned. I plan on doing a couple more decks. I'm going to be, deck ideas. I'm going to be doing an Ethan's Typhlosion with Dragapult build. I got a Team Rocket build I'm currently tweaking a little bit. It's good, but it's not great. I want to get it to great before I debut it. Those are 2 deck ideas I have. We're gonna work on some other things. Maybe there's a couple other smaller decks that aren't as good that I'm also working on, but they're gonna need some work too. But this is, as far as I know, the Cynthia's Garchomp deck is probably one of the most powerful ones from the new set. But let me know what you think in the comment section. And that is going to wrap things up for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to TimPlaysAGame, and stay tuned for more Pokemon TCG live videos. Until next time, this is Tim from TimPlaysAGame signing off. And have a good night, guys.